everybody. I don't know if it's going to stay like this or turn more like that, but whatever. We're going to go for a little fun ride on Reeno's CBR500R. This thing's been off the road for a little while, I'll get into that, but as you can see we have a new tyre on the rear which needs a few miles on it, and I wanted to go for a ride, and it was like, well, why don't I do that? Also gets a few juices into the battery. Hopefully this mount will work with the Insta360. It won't be too wobbly. Anyone coming? Yes, but they're not here yet. Ah, the little Reeno Machino. I love this little bike. Sorry, I've called it a little bike and a few people got offended by that. I'm not going to say how tall I am, but just know I'm taller than 99% of the nation. That's why I called it a little bike. Someone got very offended in the past by that. So as you may know, Reeno, my other half, has basically been on sheltering lockdown because she is one of the at-risk people through COVID. Obviously that's been lifted now, but she's still working from home, and that looks like that might become a permanent thing because they are not talking about sending her back yet. And it makes so much more sense the way that it currently works, and it's less stressful for her and all sorts. I think it's a good setup. Now, during the time that she was locked down, her MOT ran out, and as it turns out, this is one of the bikes that got the extension, as I'll get into in a minute. But we also then noticed that in her rear tyre, she had like a hex bit that was stuck through the tyre. And amazingly, in the whole time, you know, during lockdown while I was doing Derek's, there was no reason to get the bike sorted till then. The tyre didn't lose any air pressure, but the second I pulled it out, it was all the way through. It's quite amazing how well it had sealed. Anyway, new tyres on. As I was sticking the wheel back on the bike, I noticed the rear brake pads were somewhat lacking, should we say. Definitely money's worth out of them. The front brake pads on this are absolutely fine. I know I replaced those last year, but the rear ones, yeah, we obviously hadn't checked them, and they got a bit past it. So I was like, well, I'm not going to try and put it through his MOT with those on, so delayed it again. I'd even put the MOT in at that point. Switched the brake pads over, got the bike all back in together. I actually serviced the rear caliper because it was a little bit dirty. Don't like the idea of pressing the piston back in when it's all grubby. Got it all done, and then suddenly thought, oh, I wonder if this bike got an extension to its MOT. Yep, sure enough it did, doesn't need its MOT. However, we are going to put it through its MOT much sooner than what's being allowed, because, you know, you just should. I mean, there's no reason to. I've done all the upkeep on this bike, I know it's going to pass. So yeah, currently new rear tyre, new back brake pads. The fronts, well, I noticed the brakes weren't working too wonderful to start with because obviously they've been sat for months and dust and all sorts has accumulated on the discs. So I cleaned them up as much as I could, and it's just going to need, well, to be fair, the front's now sorted itself out. But there's something to be aware of. If you leave your bike to sit for a long while, you will get an accumulation of dust and debris and stuff sticking to your front disc, and it will affect your braking for the first while. It is worth cleaning them up beforehand. I don't know how rumbly this little bike is, but it's not very loud. It's got a good beefy bassy rumble, but it's not very loud. It has got an aqua exhaust on it, but it hasn't been decatted, so it would be a hell of a lot louder if we did that. But then again, when Reeno was going to work early in the morning, I don't think our neighbours would appreciate that too much. So as soon as she has a day off and the weather improves at the same time, which doesn't seem to be happening a lot lately, she's so unlucky with that sort of thing, we're going to go for a little ride out. I thought, well, let's put a few miles on it, get the pads working properly, get the tyres working, make sure everything's working okay. If I've worked on someone's bike, I like to ride it myself first, you know, just accountability, you know, and I will put my life on the line before you do. I have already done a few miles on this around the island just to make sure everything's okay, but today's like the step it up day. I'd love to be taking my DRZ to the step it up day, but unfortunately the headlight has just arrived. That's actually fortunate, sorry. Unfortunately I haven't got the new tyres on it yet, which I need to do in the next couple of days, and I will be doing that because I need to get that bike on the road in time for when the Zero arrives, which is actually tonight. If I want to have any side-by-side comparisons, unless I check the front tyres tread and I don't know. Some other bits and pieces I want to talk about today, just general chitty chat stuff, but you know, I kind of stopped paying attention to the sub count a little bit, as much as I used to in the past. Partly because there's no point chasing numbers, they'll happen when they happen, but also because YouTube hardly shows any of my subscribers my actual videos and notifications, because it really is terrible how few people they show. You know, a lot of people on YouTube, you will hear say that 60% of their viewers are not subscribers. I think it kind of proves that the subscription system on their side doesn't work anymore. People aren't using it so much anymore. I don't even think the like system works on YouTube very well anymore because of how few people actually choose to use it. And that's not just talking about my videos, I'm talking lots of other people. So you just like, wow, it's kind of surprising that it's normally a 1 in 10 percentage is considered good for a like ratio to views. But anyway, my point being, I've got to 84,000 subscribers now. My 78k play button's useless now, useless. If you didn't see, I did a video making a 78k play button for a bit of a joke. Unfortunately though, I'm not going to hit the goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers before I hit 10 years on YouTube, because my 10-year anniversary comes on the 23rd of September, as in the first video I uploaded to YouTube that was motorcycle related. And being 14k away and gaining about 1,000 subscribers a month, I know I'm not going to hit that. That's fine, whatever. It was only an interesting idea a few years ago, and it was like, it's possible, maybe it'll happen. It's unlikely though. That is a very noticeable bike. Good colour choice, mate. Was that Honda? I've seen a couple of bikes painted in a luminous green, and I'm thinking, you know what? If you're riding an luminous green bike and you know you're not wearing all black, you've got a very good argument to say, how the fuck did you not see me, mate? But then, as we've always said, if they don't look, they don't see you. It doesn't matter if you have a flashing light on top of your head, a massive beacon. If they don't see you, they won't see you, and people don't look. That was more ass crack than I wanted to see at this time of the day. When talking about tyres, some people said with the Rosso 2s, a couple of us are careful those in the wet. I found they're not absolutely that amazing in the wet. I probably won't be riding the DR too much in the wet, but also I rode for 7 years with Chinese nylon tyres all year round. I must be some sort of god, because people have told me that if you even ride on those on the road in a straight line, you will come off. Oh, god damn it! Why, Honda? Why do you have to put the horn where the indicator is? I try not to be negative about things these days so much, because it's better for me, it's better for all. We're all dealing with a lot of crap right now, and I think YouTube is supposed to be a bit of escapism, a bit of fun, get away from all that stuff. But seriously, the driving standard has fallen through the goddamned floor. Like, it was bad before COVID, it's now horrendous. Indication is no longer a thing. People are just, you know, we get the odd car crash on the island. We had 5 serious ones in like 2 weeks or something. My sister, who also lives on the islands, just had someone crash into the back of her car. Stationary, letting her car out, boom. Oh, sorry, it was my fault, I wasn't paying attention. Great, that makes it all better then, doesn't it, buddy? Right, stop. Ranting over, negativity done. We're on the same level, I'm sure you understand. Let's continue with the smiles. Everything's fine! Ah! Oh, actually, another thing, there was a news article. I cannot remember who published this, I can't remember who said it. I just saw it somewhere and I was like, what are you doing? And it was basically to say that it's now pretty known that the interest in motorcycles since the COVID lockdown and everything happened, and because of public transport and all that, people are really looking into getting motorcycles more. I can look at the figures of certain videos of mine, and it's unbelievable to see this sudden spike in interest. Well, anyway, with all that interest, someone has found out about this in the media and gone, right, well, that means there's going to be lots of new riders on the road. That means everyone's going to crash. Oh, the NHS, no one's going to be able to cope with all these horrible bikers crashing these super speedy machines. Okay, they didn't quite say that much, but they did suggest that, basically, that because there's all these new riders, there's going to be lots of crashes and stuff happening. And it's like, well, yeah, statistically, if more people walk on tight ropes, more people fall off. It's like, well done to Scaremonger. I'm surprised it wasn't produced by the Daily Mail, to be fair. Having said that, if it was published by the Daily Mail, not only are lots of people going to die because they don't know what they're doing, because motorcycles are very dangerous inherently, but also they're probably going to catch cancer, because motorcycles probably give you cancer according to the Daily Mail. I mean, everything else does. But I should probably end it now because I've been going on for a while. Huge thanks to my Patreon supporters. As I say, I've got the Zero FSX. I'm getting really confused again about that. That's actually arriving today, so videos on that will be coming soon. I've also got to get on and get the video for the headlight done and get the tyre switched over on the DRZ and try and use that a little bit through the autumn before the winter properly kicks in. If you enjoyed this old school chit chat motor vlog, I don't do many of these so much anymore, just because I don't think the interest is there so much. I know the people that do like them love them, but the big audience is like, this is boring, we don't care for this, you have to be doing a wheelies and crashing into people and maybe punching them or something for this to be slightly interesting. Dislike. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to see future videos. This channel is made possible by the support of the audience. Please consider joining my Patreon to get early access to videos, questions answered in the monthly Q&A, your name on screen, and some exclusive content, all for as little as $1 a month. You can also check out the links in the description to my merch and other ways to directly support the channel. Thanks for watching.